In the second video, I'm going to begin the modelling process, and I'm going to start up in this ridge area. And a couple of things I want to focus on. I've got my image here. I've just had to tilt this on a bottle, my bottle of terps, because when it's flat, it's quite shiny. I don't know if you can see that, and the colours sort of disappear a bit. So sometimes you can get that feature with the liquid. It can make a shiny surface, and that will, once the whole painting's finished, that can be dealt with, removed. Quite interested in just modelling in some detail here with this sandy area here. So that's this area here. So I'll just put my image up here, just for comparison purposes. I'll move my little brushes away. Okay, so we've got these areas here which we want to put in here somewhere. So I've got my paints label so you can see what I'm using. I've got some liquid. I've got a note to self, always add liquid. So I'm just mixing up, that's where I start. It's not a lot of liquid, it's just like a little dab in there, straight down. It's not a scoop, just a little bit of liquid. Now I'm going to go for a lighter colour here, so I will use a titanium white. And I might grab a little bit of this just so I get some good coverage of this. And then my little departure lounge for the burnt umber, I want to control that. And maybe just the faintest bit of lamp black on this. Do you see how I just grabbed that meteor tail, just a tiny little bit of it, and put a little bit in there. So now I've got a colour which is not too brown, not too black, somewhere in between. So I've got these areas here, and as you can see, they sort of start about here, and it's up here, sort of goes up around here. There's a few little bits kind of going in here. I'm just trying to get the outer limits. There's a bit of a patch about here. And then another bit of a patch coming down the hill a bit, and something like that. So that's that little bit there. So I'm just sort of roughing these in at the moment. I think they're light enough. So that, see how that sort of comes down like that, and that comes down like that. So I can sort of bring that down, that comes down a bit. There's some bits that are down here. That's pretty okay. There's another bit just here which sort of goes there. I'm just kind of dabbing away a bit at it. And there's more in here. Someone said to me, Vanessa, it was you, that your experience with painting was like painting a wall. And so when you were doing this sort of painting, it was like you're wanting to cover the whole thing and get, like a really solid colour. But you can see that's not what we're doing here. We're just putting in little bits of colour. We're not trying to make it all white. We're not trying to make it all green. We're trying to introduce some variability into it. Look, I think that is pretty good. It's pretty close to it. I could, and this is more a detailed thing, I could just nibble into this line here and just kind of just chew in there a little bit and make some nice little realistic shapes. See how this goes in, out, in, out, in, out. So that sort of stuff. So we can just do a little bit of that. It's quite delicate. So once we've got this particular colour mixed, yes, we can sort of go down this ridge, and if we wanted to, it's a pretty similar colour to the beach colour, and we can just go in and sort of break up that edge a little bit. So this is just adding a bit more modelling detail. My beach lines need to be horizontal, so I just come back and sort of get all them and do that. Now, what I'm going to do, this is going to be a two-part process. You know, the bushes sit on top of the sand, but at the moment I've got the sand on top of the bushes. So what I would come back with over time is to get some green. I'm going to have a go at this now, but I would say to you, do this as a two-part process. So I need a bush type colour. I'm going to put some burnt umber in there and some black. I need to get the tone down a bit, make it dark. So it's sort of around these bushes. So I need it way darker than this. I put too much white in it. So I'm going to retreat from my initial mix. It was, and I'm getting a bit gluggy, so always add a bit of liquid. And we're getting it blacker. And we're going to just throw a bit of green in there, phthalo, just to make it green. So what we will do, once this white is dry, obviously I'm doing it while it's wet, is I'll just come in and eat into that white space. So I'll add the bushes. So it's as if the bushes are coming in and covering that white space. And so it'll look more of a natural type of look. You can see that the white just comes out in just a few places. So we're chewing into that white. Obviously mine is wet, so not as easy to do, but just to give more of an impact of the greenery being on top of the white. And obviously when it's dry, that's a lot easier to do. So now, see in that little area, we're starting to get more of the look that we wanted just by breaking that up. Okay, so that would be one thing I'd do with the bushes and the sand. And I'll go on to another part of this. Maybe I'll do this in a second video. I'll come back and look at these bushes and do a bit of modelling of these bushes. So we'll finish this one at this point at 8 minutes, and that'll be the third video, will be the next one.